The Northern Virginia market is insane right now. In today's video, we're going to cover the March 2024 numbers. It's not looking good if you're a buyer, but I do have some tips towards the end of the video that should help you make sense of it and also give you a really good plan moving forward. But before we go into that, I want to talk about the top 3 sales that occurred in March. So we had a property at 1120 Guilford Court in Fairfax County, which sold for $5 million. 836 Juan Avenue in Fairfax County, which sold for $4.865 million. And the third highest transaction in March was actually a condo at Turnberry Tower in Arlington. That's at 1881 North Nash Street. That sold for $4.75 million. Funny enough, that condo development has a ton of executives from various companies living in those large condos that overlook the Capitol and the Potomac River. So kind of continuing on this theme, the most paid over asking price in March was a property at 701 Highland Avenue in Falls Church. The list price was $800,000. The sales price, when it was all said and done, was $1.2 million, which means that the buyer paid $400,000 over the asking price. Now you're probably wondering, are all of the properties selling at that high of an asking price? No, but 55% of all transactions in Northern Virginia in the month of March sold over the asking price. So whenever a property sold over the asking price, a buyer paid on average $36,000 over the asking price. If you're targeting single family homes, expect to pay $49,000 over the asking price, okay? This should already be on your mind that if I'm targeting single family homes, I'm going to be paying over the asking price. Bring an extra $50,000 with you. What's interesting about the market right now is that we have these astronomical sales prices, but sales are down. In Northern Virginia, sales are down by 13%. In Stafford County, sales are down by 28%. So even though we have less homes on the market, less transactions from those available homes, prices are still rising. This is probably what's causing a lot of confusion in the market because historically, when we have less transactions, usually something's going wrong in the market. Northern Virginia prices increased by 8% to $772,000. That's the average sales price in March. If you're looking at single family homes, those prices increased by 5% to $980,000. Townhouses increased to $667,000 average sales price, and that's a 10% increase. And then condos jumped this month to $492,000, and that represents a 14% increase in the month of March. So you're probably listening to this information and you're thinking to yourself, what can I do? Abraham, give me some advice. I want to buy a house. Well, I have a list of things I want to walk you through that I think is going to help you. So the first thing you can do is wait until fall. That's right. Wait until fall. I know I'm a real estate agent. I make money selling houses. This information doesn't help me, but it's short. It sort of does. It sort of does, because if you get too frustrated right now trying to buy a home, you may put off buying a home for years, and that's not going to do you any good. Okay. So if you're not able to handle the emotions of putting in offers every weekend and losing, then maybe this time of the year isn't the right time for you. A lot of our clients who bought last fall and last winter, they had minimal competition and they didn't have to pay as much over the asking price. This isn't for every area. We have a couple buyers who were targeting prime areas and it was a constant bidding war. So I'm not promising you that it's going to be easy, but there is some hope later in the year. The next thing you can do, right? So the second thing you could do is you can prepare to beat your opponents. Buying in the spring in Northern Virginia over the last, I would say 5 years, is a competition. You against all the other buyers. One of our clients who luckily is under contract right now lost out 2 weeks in a row and then we put something under contract in the third week. Each time there were double-digit offers on the table. That means there were multiple buyers in each scenario, not just one or two either. So let's talk about preparing to beat your opponent. The first thing you want to do is you want to get pre-approved, not pre-qualified. This means that your lender is going to have all your bank statements, your work history. They're going to have your tax records. They're going to have everything they need to move swiftly when it comes time to making an offer. Also, because you are already pre-approved, this should allow you to shorten the amount of time it takes to close on a property. The next thing you could do to prepare to beat your opponents is expect to pay over the asking price. If you're going for properties that have just hit the market in great condition, in prime locations, you should not be surprised to be competing, okay? Don't be surprised. The third thing you could do to prepare to beat your opponents is get ready to do walk and talk inspections. Walk and talk inspections are usually about $300, so it's about half the price of a traditional inspection. The walk and talk inspection or conversation is where your home inspector walks through the property, looks at the major systems, and gives you a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the property. This can help you to remove the home inspection contingency because, quite frankly, if you're in a competitive offer situation, you're not going to be able to ask the seller for many things at all in the home inspection process. So the home inspection process now, get it through your mind, is really just for you to do due diligence on the property so you feel comfortable and confident with your purchase. The fourth thing you could do to prepare to beat your opponents is get comfortable removing contingencies. Before we get into this one, I just want you to know, your real estate agent, myself included, we want you to do your due diligence. But this is a competition. Having multiple contingencies when your competition doesn't put you in the best scenario to win. This isn't about writing offers, right? This isn't about trying. This is about trying, or this is about winning, right? Am I saying that right? This is about winning. So if you must have contingencies, and it makes sense for you to do them, the contingencies are in place for a reason, then now may not be the time for you to purchase a property. We're going to be here with you until you're ready, okay? So there's no rush. Before we go into the next tip, let me talk about the major contingencies that are a part of most real estate transactions except during this time period, right? So the biggest one you are aware of is the home inspection contingency and the financing contingency. Well, in addition to home inspections, you can also have a radon inspection, which we highly recommend. You could have a termite inspection or a pest inspection, which we highly recommend. And on the financing side, you can also separate the financing contingency from the appraisal contingency. So you can have a clause that says if the home doesn't appraise, you'll do a certain number of steps afterwards, right? So those are like the 5 major contingencies that are part of the contract that you probably, if you are targeting in-demand properties, you're probably not going to be able to get those contingencies in place. The 5th thing you could do to beat your opponents in this real estate market is know what you want to see by Tuesday or Wednesday. Most properties in Northern Virginia come on the market on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, usually Wednesday and Thursday. So you usually have a good idea of what's going to be on the market because a lot of our properties go on the coming soon phase, right? So coming soon is where a property hits the MLS, but you're not allowed to see it. When it comes on the market as the coming soon or is listed as coming soon, there is a target list date or a target active date. When we know that a coming soon property is one of your target properties, you must let us know immediately so we can schedule an appointment. There was a property we were showing a client this past weekend in Chantilly. Now, our clients, we've already prepped them on the information we've talked about in this video. So they let us know in advance that they want to see this particular home. Do you know that even though we were moving really fast on this property, the showings were getting snapped up super quickly? There were some days that as soon as the property hit the market, the entire day would be already booked. It's important for you to get ahead of the the curve. Know what you want to see on Tuesday and Wednesday. Another reason why you want to know what you want to see on Tuesday and Wednesday is because if there's a property that you know you want to place an offer on just based on the photos alone, then this is a property that we want to get a walk and talk inspection for. And because walk and talk inspections are so popular right now, a lot of the home inspectors, the reputable ones, are booked over the weekends. So we have to move quickly to make sure our timing is in order. The sixth thing you could do to beat your opponents during this time of the year is have your seller love letter ready. Now, I know a couple years ago, those letters were banned, right? They're really banned by the listing agents. Listing agents are not supposed to show the letters to their clients, but I want to let you know this, they're still showing these letters to their clients. And we have won deals where the seller read the letter and they chose our offer over another offer because it didn't have a letter. Do yourself a favor, stack as many chips in your corner as you can. Have your seller love letter ready. Now, for our clients, we have a library of letters that have worked in the past for our clients. We hand those letters over to them, and then they make a variation of the letters for themselves, so they're not starting from scratch. The seventh thing you want to do to prepare to beat your opponent is prepare to lose before you win. What I mean by that is we have a good lender partner of ours who has a client who isn't working with us, but her client this past weekend put an offer on a single family home in Springfield that was on the market for $975,000. Her client removed all the contingencies on this offer, and their offer was, get this, $1.115 million, right? So just over $100,000 over the asking price, right? The winning offer on this property was over $1.2 million. How are you going to compete with that? That house is probably not going to appraise, so the buyer is going to bring a lot of cash to the table. If you don't have that amount of cash, this house isn't for you. You're not going to win, no matter how good the love letter is, no matter how well the offer is written, no matter how many contingencies you remove. At the end of the day, sometimes it's all about the money. And if you don't have a lot of it right now, hey, we have to go play in the field we could win, right? So that was our tips for beating your opponent, right? But the third thing I want you to consider when you think about like, what can I do, is you can wait for homes that make it to the second week on the market. So a lot of times there's a lot of competition for the premium homes the first week that they're on the market. Everybody's targeting them. Most agents who are ethical will only allow their clients to place one offer on a property at a time. So a lot of the, mid-tier properties that are nice in good neighborhoods, but maybe they aren't fully staged. Maybe they have some quirks about them. Those properties make it to the second week. That is your opportunity right there, right? So Tuesday, really like Monday, Tuesday of week 2, you want to check your portal. Usually you should have some type of MLS search set up with your agent. You want to check your portal and see if any of your favorites or properties that are possible, if they made it to week 2, and then you want to jump on them, schedule the first available showing, make yourself available. And those are going to be some great opportunities because, again, a lot of people's focus is on the premium stuff, the great stuff, the good stuff. So we have 2 more things. We have 2 more tips before I let you go. Okay. So another thing you can do during this market is you can focus on buying a new construction property. Now there's some pros and cons to buying new construction. First, let's start off with the good stuff. So there's less competition. Builders are constantly releasing lots. And in some divisions, in most communities, there isn't a wait list for some of the lots. Now, in some of the closeout communities, like the Potomac Shores, Drees Home Villas at Potomac Shores, the last 8 lots in that development, there's a long waiting list. I think it's like 40 people or so that are vying for those last 8 lots. But in most cases, the lots are available. They release them every month. You can find yourself a new construction property. You can pick your own finishes. Also, builders builders are still offering incentives. They're still offering incentives. The cons here though are, obvious. You won't be able to move in immediately. If it's a condo, then you should probably expect to move in anywhere from 6 months to 12 months. If it's a townhouse, you're probably looking at like a 9-month move-in. If it's a single family home, then you're probably looking at like a year from now. The last thing you can do during this market is be patient. Make sure you find yourself an agent who is not rushing you. Yes, it's important to hit your deadlines. Yes, it's important to check your portal. Yes, it's important to schedule the showings immediately, but do not feel rushed. Houses are going to come on the market. Houses are going to come off the market. You will find your home if you stay with the program, right? Just stick with the program. Don't be rushed. Don't give up. And that's it. That's it. If you are shopping for a home right now, or if you have shopped in a home during previous sellers market, extreme sellers markets, what tips did I miss? What worked for you? Help the people who are watching these videos out by providing them some comfort down below with your positive stories. Or, if you're one of the people who lost several times during the sellers market, but then you held off buying, let us know as well. We would love to hear your perspective. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace.